All right, excellent. Can everybody see that okay? Can anybody not see my screen?
Yes, we can see it.
Okay, perfect. Ugh, Wendy didn't get the link. Maisha, do you have access to my messenger?
I'm not sure. Let me double check.
I'm sorry, guys. One more person that needs the link. At 10 after. Okay. See, I wouldn't have normally said that had I had rest. All right. Now we're gonna get started for real. Who's that?
I don't see where I can access.
You don't, okay. Yeah, I thought there was a reel that came up on the screen. All right, are we recording?
Yes.
Excellent. All right, well, good evening, everybody. And I'm excited. I really am excited to be here. I'm excited mostly because we didn't wait until December to get started with this process, which means that we have a great opportunity and a good amount of time to really take full advantage of it. For those of you who don't know who I am, I'm Dr. Katrina Ferguson, the founder of Easy Income Tax Services and Resource Center, and the Easy Tax Academy. So we're excited that over the last couple years, we've created an opportunity to not just bring folks in to be able to do taxes, but to actually teach them, help them, groom them, and actually help them start their own businesses. I will share with you in a few moments what my story is, but understand clearly that the tax industry is a multi-billion with a B dollar industry. It's one of the only things, it's two things that are going to occur in life, whether you are excited about it or not. One is death, right? So the funeral homes are going to get their money. The owners are going to make money because people are going to be dying constantly. The other thing is taxes. We're all going to be responsible for paying taxes. Some of you may have heard that the IRS recently hired like 3,000 new employees. And a lot of times people are saying that they did that just, they're all auditors, which they're not, by the way, but they have staffed up significantly to be able to make sure that Americans stay in compliance. So it's very important that there are tax professionals like you and I who are positioned to absolutely help people be compliant, to actually take the fear out of dealing with the IRS. So our mission is to train, to coach, and to develop into seasoned professionals and ultimately business owners, the individual person. So if it's part of what you want to do, if it's part of what you want to become, then we have a plan, we have a system that's going to assist you in doing that. Maisha, can you see me on the screen also, or just the PowerPoint?
I see you as well.
Okay, thank you. So I won't make any untoward facial expressions, because on my screen, I can only see the PowerPoint. That's awesome. All right, so that's our mission. And I'm just gonna let you hear from one of our clients real briefly before I kind of share with you my story.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Carlitos Johnson, and I am extremely excited for what Dr. K has put together with the Easy Income Tax Program. Guys, I met Dr. K a few months ago. She was referred to me by a close friend, and I was in a tax situation, and I reached out to her. She put me in a position of strength very quickly. She set me at ease, and I was comfortable giving her all the information she needed. And when I say she came through, she came through.
Okay, I'm sorry, you guys can't hear him?
My name is Carlitos Johnson.
Are you?
It's low, very low.
Okay, so because I can hear him. Bree, can you turn up your volume a bit?
Yes, I'll try to turn it up. I can hear him whispering.
Oh, okay, okay, cool.
Extremely excited for what Dr. K has put together with the East Income Tax Program. Guys, I met Dr. K.
Let me try to share sound. See if that helps.
A few months ago, she was referred to me by a close friend, and I was in a tax situation, and I reached out to her. She put me in a position of strength very quickly. Very quickly, she set me at ease, and I was comfortable giving her all the information she needed. And when I say she came through again and again and again. And so now we are brothers and sisters in business. I'm in the insurance business. She's in the tax profession. She's in several businesses as a serial entrepreneur. Listen, if you are interested in moving forward in this opportunity, I can't tell you what this opportunity is going to do for you and your family. Talk about game changer. It is game changing. So listen up, pay close attention, and I hope that you get a lot out of this. I hope to see you all guys on the other side. I certainly plan to be a member and to take advantage of this new program and opportunity so that I can provide for my family as well.
Awesome. Okay, so this video was actually done about a year ago. So I've been working with Mr. Johnson for the last, I guess, just over a year. As someone who came to our company who was making crazy money, like a great income, but no one had stopped long enough to say, you know, it's not just enough to make the money. You've got to strategize so that you can minimize the tax responsibility. One of the things that you'll hear me say over and over again is that we come to help people legally minimize their tax liabilities, and in other instances to legally maximize their tax refunds, depending on the individual situation. So you will see the single parent mom who's getting an earned income credit, and then you will see the business owner who's doing over $1 million in revenue, all come through the doors of our agency, of our company. So that's kind of who we are as Easy Income Taxes. And then Easy Income Tax has the Tax Academy, and we also have our own software called Quantum Tax Pro. So for those who are listening, who are already tax professionals, maybe you just need some coaching and mentoring. We do offer that at that level. If you're getting started and you've never done a tax return before, we can help you at that level and anywhere in between. So whether you want to become a tax professional, open your own business or a string of businesses, we can help you with that. We, as Easy Income Tax Services and Financial Resource Center, we have offices now in Florida, Maryland, in Houston, Texas, in Southern California, in New York, and I'm missing one, and Georgia. And we haven't finished. We're not done opening offices by any stretch. And while we like expanding our footprint, our brand, we actually want to help more people do that as well. So even if, like the Georgia office, those ladies worked here with me for 3 years. And literally, this is the first year that they will be pretty much on their complete and total own. So it's hand holding as long as you want it. And then when you're ready to go, it's good. We're going to help you with that as well. It really doesn't matter what your experience level is. We are not, if you could be hungry, like my mentor, Les Brown says, if you're hungry, we're going to help you make some things happen. So me, your coach, your lead coach, I actually came into entrepreneurship as a single parent. I was working 50, 60 hours a week, sometimes basically trying to keep food on the table for me and for my children. And me and about 4 of my friends started in a business that we could believe in, we really aligned with, and we started working. We were running all over the country. We were helping people all over the country to take care of their legal needs and situations. And within about 3 years, we were all making 6 figures or better. As a matter of fact, the particular year that really started all of this for me in the tax industry was when we realized after 2.5, 3 years that as 6-figure income earners, we had no clue what to do with our taxes. No idea. We're talking to each other. Nobody knows anybody. We got referred to a guy. He did all of our taxes and we were all audited. Every single one of us. And I'm sitting here, mine was not a correspondence audit. I know what it's called now. Back then I didn't know. I knew that they didn't have to go in and I had to. So they were mailing their stuff and waiting for a response from the IRS. So I'm watching my friends, you know, my cohorts come out with these tax bills where they're paying $400, $500, $600, $6,000 a month. They have to pay back. Now, I was a single parent mom and I was behind on stuff. So all of my money, it wasn't like the money was just sitting around doing nothing. I had to either put it back in the business or put it in my household. So when they sent me this letter saying that I owed them $61,000 in taxes, back taxes, that is the official definition of stress. So I went to the guy who did my taxes and guess what? Couldn't find him. It was the off season. He wasn't interested in even helping or participating. Nobody wants to walk in behind somebody else's $61,000 mess and start talking about, let me help you in your tax situation. Trust and believe, nobody was interested. So I was stuck. I found myself in a position where I either had to stroke the IRS a check for $61,000 or figure it out. How many of you, tell me by putting it in the chat, which do you think I did? Did I stroke a check or did I figure it out? If you know me at all, you know I chose to figure it out. And that's what I did. I literally started reading the tax code, which is significant. I'm going to tell you what that looks like. The tax code today is about the size of 19 Bibles, but everything doesn't apply to everybody. So I was just looking for what applied to me as a business owner, because I wasn't trying to cheat the system. Fortunately, I had learned one great thing from my ex, and that was to track every single dollar. So I had receipts and supporting reports. I just had to put it all together in a way that someone else could actually look at it and understand what I was doing. So I laid it all out. 13 binders later, a year of this going on, I'm rolling up the streets in Baltimore, Maryland, taking this big old rollerboard suitcase in there so that I could go through this audit process. First of all, when I walked in the door, the lady looked at me like, what is that? And I said, you asked me to prove my expenses. This is all my proof. She's like, well, we didn't expect you to actually come. We didn't expect you to actually come in here with it. So I was the one. Brought him in there and she was looking at my receipts and she said, well, I want to see this receipt. She was looking at a bank statement. And then because I had to make a spreadsheet that showed all of the expenses for Office Depot, then I had to have a place where she could go check all the receipts. And she said, I better not find one candy bar, right? So I had to do this with everybody I spent money with that year. We went through the whole process and then she sent me home because they had to finish to decide whether or not I was going to be owing them still or whatever. I get a letter about a month later, and the letter says, not only do I not owe them $61,000, but they owed me $1,100. Yes, right? Like I proved to them that I am not trying to beat the system. Matter of fact, I went under what I should have paid. I paid more taxes than I should have paid. Thought it would be over. They came back the next year again, said I owed $34,000 this time. I went back through that whole process again, but this time it was easier because I'd already done it before, less stress, right? Now they owed me $800. So I'm sitting here thinking, if I'm going through this, then someone else is going through this before as well. And as an entrepreneur, any business I've ever started, I've started as a result of a problem that I saw and realized that I'm having this problem, so are other people. So over the years, I had worked behind the scenes with a tax guy who had a small business out of Houston, who's still a tax mentor to me today. And I just figured, you know what, I'm just gonna do it. My girlfriend had a tax office in Florida. I came down, I worked with her for a couple of years, and I realized she was doing some real shady stuff. And that here in Florida, there are some tax preparers who are less than scrupulous, right? They're charging people $1,100 for a simple W-2 return. And people are paying it because they don't have computers, they don't understand, they don't know what their rights are, they have no clue. So I said, you know what, I can fix some of this for some people. I can impact lives this way. So we literally opened an office about 7 years ago here in Florida. 2 years ago, we moved. I've been at this office here for five years now. And our goal when we opened, our motto was no file over $500. It didn't matter if you had a Schedule C business, didn't matter what. we were trying to do is to let people know that there was an alternative to getting shafted when you do your taxes. It's already bad enough you got to deal with the IRS, but it's bad when you've got to also deal with the person who's supposed to be on your side and really trying to take advantage of you. So I literally, in the first 6 weeks of being in the tax business, I earned $15,000 in 6 weeks. I didn't even live here. I didn't even know anybody. And I was getting paid through somebody else's system. The second year, I doubled it. The third year, we hit the 6-figure mark, started our own office, and it hasn't been that bad since. And that's what we're talking about. We're talking about an opportunity to literally stimulate your economy in a way and with a business that literally is never going to go out of business. When COVID hit and everybody was stuck at home, we were considered mandatory. We were like the post office. We had to be open. We had to follow some rules, but we were here helping people because they still had to file their taxes regardless. So it's a really, really good space to be in, especially if you're looking to stimulate your own economy. If you want to create an extra $100,000, $500,000 a week, a month, a day, a year, whatever it is, we can actually put you on a path to doing just that. So what we are as a company, we've been virtual for over 20 years. We're brick and mortar again for the last 8 years. This is where we have clients and we train tax professionals, not just a tax preparer. Tax preparers often just plug numbers into some software and give you what it spits out. You can do that on TurboTax. Let's keep it completely gutter. Like, let's just be real. There are people who do it on TurboTax every year on freetax.com or whatever. But what a tax professional is going to do is not just look at the papers that you bring, but they're going to ask you the questions. They're going to interview you. They're going to understand clearly what your scenario is and help you not just with this year, but they're going to help you to plan for years to come. We've had people come who got huge, the child tax credits, got huge refunds. I'm talking over $20,000. And so the question wasn't just, what are you going to, here's your money. It was, what are you going to do with it? What's your plan? So we've helped people buy their first homes. We've helped people start businesses or expand their businesses. We've helped people take their businesses into brick and mortar situations. And that's really what it's about, not just the money. Money is never my primary motivation for doing anything. If I can impact someone's life in the process, listen, I'm not giving the money back, don't misunderstand. But if I can impact someone's life in the process, it's a win-win for everybody. So the team of people that you'll be working with, we are tax professionals. We've got CPAs, we've got enrolled agents, registered preparers, insurance professionals, bookkeepers, credit specialists, just anything around the financial services industry. If we don't offer it in-house, we have partnerships with other people to make certain things happen. And yes, there are entrepreneurs, people who want to be in business for themselves. And then there are people who will never move out from under the easy income tax umbrella. And that's fine. There's room, there's space enough for everybody. Your coaches and professionals together, over 100 years of experience. We're not afraid of the IRS. We're not afraid of anybody's tax situation. If we don't have all the answers and we don't proclaim to, we do know how to find them, right? And we have the resources to get them together. So here are some of the people that you would be working with. You can see this on our website. Few situations where we were able to help some folks. So James M. is my dad, right? My dad, my pastor daddy. Daddy was paying anywhere from $8,000 to $12,000 a year in taxes. And his daughter is a tax professional. And I remember him complaining to me over and again. And I was like, Dad, you're old. Why are you paying so much money in taxes? So I had him send me everything that he had. We have this thing, we call it a 3-year free look. You send us your documents, we will review them. If we see places where there is additional money that you should have, that you're entitled to, credits, larger refund taxes you paid you shouldn't have had to, then we will help you file that amendment and then, move you forward from there. That's what I did for my dad. Went through them, and it was so funny. We refiled all his taxes. We amended all 3 years. Dad started getting checks in the mail from the IRS and from the state agency. He was getting $8,000 checks, $12,000 checks. Dad calls me and he says, "Is this a scam? Is this a scam or is this real?" And I said, "Dad, if you don't know if it's real, put the check in my account, right? Just endorse it over to your daughter. Put it in our joint account." But and I've been doing his taxes ever since. And we have some strategies, some things that we put in place so that his tax liability has gone from $12,000 to maybe $1,200 a year instead. All right. Then we had, you'll hear from this gentleman, Mr. Roberson, who's an entrepreneur out of the Chicago marketplace, who's flat out just being overtaxed. You know, his daughter is in college. At the time, you know, as a single person, he couldn't even claim her, but he was being overtaxed, making great money, but giving an undue amount to Uncle Sam. Same scenario. So we especially specialize in helping the home-based business owner, but we can help anybody. We help you in terms of your local market, because what they charge in Texas, we can't necessarily charge in Florida, which we can't necessarily charge in Maryland or New York or California or any of the other areas. So we definitely get in there with you and help you to get all of that together, taking that into consideration. What are our clients saying? I'm not going to go through this. You can Google us and read the reviews for yourself. But they're flat out excited to work with us, because it's not, again, just about the money. It's really about the person. So here's one of our clients that I'll give you an opportunity to hear from.
Hey, my name is Mel.
Can y'all hear him?
I'm a full-time entrepreneur now. When I made the transition from
It's low.
It's super low because I can't even hear him.
I don't hear anything.
I don't
Yeah,
hear
I know.
anything, Katrina.
Yeah, I can't hear him. Look, I can't hear him either. Okay, but he's saying a whole bunch of good stuff. Okay. All right. I'll send it to you.
I know when you share the screen, you have to select auto.
Yeah, I did. I did do I went back in and did share sound also. So I'm not sure. It's worked in the past. We'll just keep it moving today. All right. So is the Academy for you? Is this something that you need to do, want to do? Now, I know some of you have already made a decision to do it. Some of you haven't, but I want to give you just kind of a framework for what it is that we do. Are you an entrepreneur that's either too busy or not busy enough? I found myself running all around the country chasing small commission checks, when I could literally sit in an office or sit at my home and know that there are people coming based on my marketing without the expense of the travel. Are you a tax professional already that maybe needs some mentorship and coaching to get your business to that 6-figure level? Maybe you just want to earn some additional money working, 3 or 4 months a year and take off the rest of the year. I can't tell you how many years my work season was from December 26th to August 30th. Period, point blank. I'm sorry, April 30th. After that, I'm out. Boom. I'm living the laptop lifestyle, responding to phone calls and emails and anything else, but being in an office or anywhere. You guys have seen my Facebook. I travel extensively, right? Can't do that if you have to be in an office every single day. Maybe you're already a tax professional, but because you don't have your own structure or your own system, you're making pennies. Like, I have so many conversations every single year with H&R Block tax preparers. They come here and they, because they only make maybe $10, $12, $15 an hour. And H&R Block keeps all of the rest of the money. And then they don't even adequately train them to think, just to plug in numbers based on a presupposed formula. So maybe you're just not making enough money in the industry. Maybe you don't have the credentialing and you want to get the credentialing, but you need some support in the process. Any of these reasons, as simple as I just want to understand my own tax return. I've been paying people every year to do my tax return and I don't understand what it is that they're doing. Whatever your reason is, again, we have a plan and a strategy to assist you in achieving it. If your answer is yes to any of those things, type yes in the chat for us, so we know exactly who we're talking to as we go forward. So why would you even consider a tax industry? Everybody has to do taxes. We talked about it. An $11 billion with a B dollar industry. Now, let me ask you, does the tax code get simpler or more complex every year? Type in the chat for me. Does it get more simple or more complex every single year? If y'all aren't playing along, I'm gonna call you out, I promise. Is it getting, yeah, it gets more and more complex every single year. So it's going to be more important to have professionals, people who either are willing to do the research or already know the answers, involved in your process. Think about all of the stimulus money that came out. Think about that. Remember, everybody was getting these stimulus checks, and then all of a sudden at tax time, they're like, oh yeah, well, you got to account for that. Well, what does that even mean? Account for it how? And then there were people who got stimulus checks that shouldn't, and then people who shouldn't have gotten them that did. What do you do with all of that as a layperson? That was the problem that I had as the person being audited. I don't know taxes. I even said to the lady, the second year I got audited, I had hired a CPA. I spent $900 getting my taxes done. And this was like 8 years ago. So when I got audited, that was the first thing I said. I said, oh, no, I had a CPA do my taxes. They were like, we don't care who did your taxes. We care who signed them. Interesting, right? I'm the one who signed them and made me responsible, even though I had no clue what that CPA had done. There's never going to be fewer tax laws than there are today. As a matter of fact, the tax code grows about 50 pages every single week. Does that not spell opportunity to you? During tax season, you can almost, other than Sunday, any day that the bank is open, you can get paid. And not only that, but you'll be able to apply what you've learned to your own tax situation to reduce your own tax liability. You can dictate your own schedule. You can start working from home with minimal expenses. All you need really is a laptop. You don't even need a printer anymore. As Mr. Mall will attest to, typically you can just do it all digitally and electronically. It's a beautiful, beautiful thing, a whole different industry than when we first got started. All right, some not so fun facts. Just look at this, the tax code, the federal tax code, 70,000 pages. This was last year, 70,000 pages, over 9 billion words, 11 times as long as the Bible. And there's no good news in it, right? So this is, again, our opportunity. And herein is our solution. You've got Easy Tax Academy, alongside in partnership with Quantum Tax Pro software that is literally positioning people to change their lives. So what is this partnership? We've got work from home opportunities, or you can work in the office, whatever you want to do. As a matter of fact, I had some people last year who flew in from California and stayed and worked in our office just for a week, just to understand the system and the workflow, and then went back home and started working on their own. We've got ongoing up-to-the-minute educational opportunities. So in our back office where your classes are, it's always being updated. Every time we get something new, you'll see it in the, we have a coaching Facebook group. We also have a project management group, just to kind of keep everybody on the same page with what's happening and what's changing. We have weekly live classes for 8 weeks, over 27 pre-recorded classes that you will go through, that I can see when and if you go through, as well as our weekly coaching calls, just to make sure everybody is in position. You also have a virtual office open throughout tax season, where if you have a question, just pop in on the Zoom, and whoever's in front of the computer at that time will help you to make sure that you've got what you need, especially if you have a customer or client sitting in front of you. You've got access to over 25 years of business building relationships through tax banks and through the IRS. So some people don't, what does the tax bank do? The tax bank gives us the ability to, one, get people advances on their refunds, as well as allow them to pay their tax preparation fees with their refund, as opposed to having to come out of pocket. Many people can't afford to pay for their tax returns. Now, we give you a deep discount if you pay cash for your tax return. However, for those who can't, we also have that banking relationship that you would be able to leverage as well. You can make full-time income with part-time work, and you get to work with me. That's the best part ever, right? You're supposed to cheer now. Oh, sorry. All right.
I'm looking forward to working with you.
I appreciate that. And you, sir. Okay. Plus, we're going to help you avoid some potholes. Errors in judgment. You're going to learn the do's and don'ts with these trainings and coachings. You'll work at your own pace. And with the marketing plan that we've got this year, we've got more work. We just got a lot of people coming through. We're going to teach you the marketing part, how to get your own clients, as well as, we may share some of yours, but understand clearly that our clients that we're gotten with our marketing and our overhead, definitely those commissions pay less than if you get your own clients. So what's included? You've got that training in about 4 areas. You've got the essentials of tax preparation. We're going to talk about tax law. A very, very important area is due diligence, and you'll understand right out the bat why that is so important. Of course, you're going to have that software training class and everything else that we've already talked about. That's included in the academy. These are some of the topics of those 27, the 27 hours of tax law and IRS accredited training that we talk about. And I don't even do all the training. We have others. My partner Knox Wimberly does part of the training. Badeep does some of the training. We've got other preparers who do some of the training. And again, it's always being updated. As long as you're part of the academy, a part of the family, you have access to those trainings. So hopefully you've had a chance to look at some of the list of what's included there. Okay, so why start now? What is this? This is November. Like, why are we talking about tax season in November when it doesn't really even officially start until February? Because before you know it, it'll be tax season. Whether you are preparing to do your own taxes or you want to do some others, and for income, it's coming fast. And if you want to be a tax professional and not just a tax preparer, you want to be mentally ready. Now, I'm not saying that you're going to know everything that you need to know to do taxes, because I'm not going to teach you everything that I know. I can't, I won't. It doesn't make any sense, because if you don't use it, you're going to forget it anyway. What you need to know, though, is that these things exist. So if somebody comes to you and says, well, what's the Form 1095-A? I got this from my insurance company. Why do I need this? At least you know that there's such a thing as a Form 1095-A. Even if you don't know what it does or how to use it, then you would at least be able to say, oh, you know what? I heard about this in training. And you don't sit there and look at them dumbfounded like, I don't know why you asking me. Instead, you can give an intelligent answer, do the research, and actually and help that client out. So that's why it's important to go through the entire training. Now, this is one of my friends, Ken Yumba, and he's actually a real paid actor. Like, I didn't pay him for this, but he's an actor, and I'm wondering if you guys are gonna be able to hear it because he's hilarious. I think Maisha has seen it because he's could be.
Hey guys, look, it is what it is. 2020 had came and gone, but
Can y'all hear him? No.
Cash, right? 2021.
I'll send it to you. I'll send that to you too. But it's a really cool video, just him talking about how excited he is. All right, so let's talk about how we make this six-figure income based on a daily tax preparation. In our office, the average file pays about $400. $400. So for this illustration, we use 350. So if you do 5 returns in a day, because you're active, you're just in here, you're looking at about $1,750 a day of income that you would have created from tax returns. Based on your own commission structure, which is something that we will discuss one-on-one, because it's based on experience, based on what your goals are. Like, it's a whole conversation, it's a whole formula. You can decide, will determine how much money you make. So if you were to get started in the academy, start your own business, and you were to keep all of that for yourself, and this doesn't even include the filing fees. This is simply the tax preparation fee. The filing fee is another $147, that electronic filing fee. Literally, you could make $140,000 in a month. Most people aren't going to do that, but some people will. Some people are hungry. Some people are serious. Some people can focus. They have the ability, the opportunity, the timing, and then the flat out mindset to go out there and make that happen. If you want to be aggressive, you can double it. You're just flat out determined to make it happen. It's up to you. Bottom line, what you put into it is what you're going to get out of it. So what's next? You've got to decide what you want to do. Some of you are saying, you know what, that's cool, Katrina, but I really don't want to do this. I just go, I'm only here because I'm curious. And that's fine. You got some answers today. If you have other questions, then you can definitely go back to the link, make an appointment, get on my calendar, and let's get you some answers. But if you want to do something, if you want to partner with Easy Income Taxes and me some way, your first option is to flat out work with us and get started. Become a tax preparer, start leveraging your relationships to build your own client base. While you're building your client base, you're actually beginning to position yourself. So if you want brick and mortar, if you want mobile, if you want, just to work from home, it's up to you how you do it ultimately. But the first thing is to understand the core, the foundation of the business, which is how to create and file a tax return, and then deal with the issues that happen on the other side. Because, once you file a return, you're not finished. So when people say, well, why do you charge X amount of dollars for this type of return? It's because I have a responsibility as a professional and as a registered tax preparer that when I send certain things in, if the IRS has questions, I have to be available. I'm responsible. I'm even liable. Yes, it's ugly what we take on sometimes. However, is that's part of what makes this such a lucrative business opportunity. But we're going to teach you how to hedge those things, how to protect yourself. And if you're doing the right thing anyway, you don't have anything to worry about. Like, I'm not afraid of the IRS. Why be afraid? Just respond, don't ignore them. And if you're doing everything on the up and up, you don't have any problems. Second option, and this is, it shouldn't even be a second option, it should be like the second step. So become a tax preparer, work with us. We'll teach you everything that you need to know to begin. And as you get comfortable a year or two down the road, then you want to go to the next step, which is to create your own brand and business. If you want to. I'm not that person. It's so funny because so many of my partners have said to me, you're stupid for teaching people and not keeping a part of their money. Like teaching people how to go off and make their own money. You know what? I have an abundant mindset. There is more than enough out here for everybody. I am not tripping on the people that leave and go do their own thing, because I've become a part of their story forever. And remember, I've impacted their lives and their families' lives for generations to come. And then there's some people who are like, you know what, I'm going to refer some clients. I don't want to do taxes. I don't want to learn taxes, but I do want to make some additional money. We had a guy last year made about $7,000 simply referring clients $50 at a time. We like those people too. We like everybody. So it's totally up to you what you want to do with it. 3 ways that you get started. You're just going to figure it out. Are you going to be an associate, a business builder, or do you want to actually go the long haul and become a tax professional and literally build something for yourselves? This is going to show you basically what's included in each of those packages. But again, we'll have conversations individually in terms of who does, who wants to do what. And this is where you're going to book that appointment. So first thing is, I want to see if you want to open up your mic, if you have any questions that I can answer for you. And then you definitely, if you want more information or if you're interested, hit that link up, make an appointment so that we can have a discovery call and discuss what happens next. And actually, so funny, we actually have a live class here at 8 o'clock that's starting tonight as well. So any questions for me? What are your thoughts? Anyone have anything they want to share? Who is the Zoom user that has the no-name Zoom user? If I had seen you first. Nothing? No one? I am so surprised. Are you laughing at me, Mr. Wright?
Hey, Miss Katrina, this is Wendy Jackson.
Hey, Wendy Jackson.
I am actually really interested. I was going to actually, a couple of months ago, I was going to take a tax course because I'm interested in preparing my own taxes because I've had problems in the past with my tax preparer.
Yes.
So definitely, I am very interested. So
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. Are you still in real estate also?
I am. I'm still in real estate and I'm still dual career.
Okay. That's awesome because, we do a lot of real estate agents taxes. I did a seminar for them and you would be surprised how many people make $400,000, $500,000, $600,000 a year and have no tax strategy.
Right.
Just literally giving Uncle Sam, $60,000, $80,000 a year.
So yes, I am very interested. I just need to know how to get started.
Absolutely. So if you could go to easydiscoverycall.com and get on my calendar, we'll have a conversation here, short order.
Okay, thank you.
All right, sweet pea.
Nice speaking with you too.
Anyone else? Any questions? Concerns?
I don't have any questions or concerns, but I am also very interested. I wanted to learn I generally just pay for the software every year. And due to being military, most of the time, even though we own property, so we can't do like the basic one, we still somehow will sometimes get that like top tier one for free somehow. So it works out. But at the end of the day, I would like to know exactly what I'm doing instead of just plugging in, answers and questions, because I am someone who has a ton of children and, other things. And I could be actually making more and not knowing that. So I kind of just want to understand it more to be able to do it myself and, go to Miss, Ferguson for that help and, learn.
So if
more
I go
about
too
it.
far into your business, then stop me, but I'm going to ask a couple questions. Okay.
Okay.
So do you file joint returns?
Yes.
No. You know why?
Why?
Because if you file separately, then you would be eligible for an earned income credit. So you take the income from one or two of the rental properties, let your husband keep his other income, and you could get an earned income credit even though he's not eligible.
But see, that's why I need to, I've literally only paid one person, Veronica Noel, to do an amendment for me when we purchased our first house years ago to get like that first homeowner's tax credit. I
Yes.
basically paid her to do the amendment, but other than that, we've never had anyone else do the taxes. And I'm just like, this year's a new year.
Yeah.
I need to figure out what's going on. I need to know what to do. Like I said, plugging in is simple, whether it's him doing it or me doing it or both of us doing it, and taking the best return from the programs that we use.
Yes.
I just want to be able to, like you said, I would have never known to do that. So hashtag, we about to do that this year. But
For
I'm
sure,
gonna book
for sure.
an appointment with you because like Miss Wendy Jackson, I too want to just get started, learn more. And if it turns into something where, I become a part of the brand or start helping out, hey, it is what it is. But I definitely want to at least try to learn the basics and
Yes.
start somewhere.
Absolutely, absolutely. That's awesome. Anyone else? All right. Excellent. Mr. Mom, I see you in there chefing it up. You got enough for everybody?
Hey, the only way that you come up is you got to feed the whole team.
That's what's up. That's what's up. Hey guys, this is my good friend from many, many years ago. We reconnected, yesterday? Haven't talked to him since 2014. Haven't seen you since 2009 or something.
It might have been 08 when I met you.
Yes.
So we
So
just
definitely
went back
excited
up.
to learn from Mr. Mall and his expertise as a tax business owner as well. We're doing some partnership things. And I tell you, being a networker means that, you work the net, you find ways for collaboration. Because 1 + 1 isn't 2. 1 + 1 can equal 11 when you find
Yes.
synergistic relationships that move
With all
everybody
you people
forward.
that's on.
Yes.
A thing that I learned a while back is that the network, it builds the net worth.
Yes, it does. Yes.
So the
It's
more
your
people you
network.
know, you don't have to get in this business just for brick and mortar. I had brick and mortar for years, and Katrina, I had 6 different locations throughout Southeast Texas that were brick and mortar. And I saw the shift changing to where with the technology that's out there now, I mean, you want to have that in-home business because that's going to help you on your tax returns, on your personal tax returns
Yes.
anyway. So it's a lot of benefits that come from having an in-home business. You don't with the brick and mortar, after the 4 months when that tax season is rolling, it's easy to pay that $2,500 or $3,000 lease a month because that money's steadily rolling. But after tax season, when it slows down and you're still having to pay that lease all year, then you're like, man, I still have to come up with those extra 8 months of income for that lease. But when me and Katrina are gonna partner up, and we're gonna put a branch side of mobile tax services under the Easy tax company, to where you guys could be able to just be mobile and have people using the app to just send their basic information of what you need to process the return. You can do the return from your home, your cell phone, do whatever you need to do, and you send it back. You're not printing out no paper. You're doing e-signs. I'm talking, a 30-minute process, and hey, make you some good money.
Yeah.
I know in Southeast Texas, like I was telling Katrina, when I first got into business, we were charging $189 to do tax returns. So that lets you know how long ago that was that I've been in the business. And so with her mentor, Mr. Al, that I talked with yesterday, I told him, I say, man, when I found out people were charging $900 and $800 and $1,100, I was like, man, well, what kind of business returns are you doing? And I found out it was just simple forms. But when people don't know, they don't really question. And I can tell you, and I told Katrina, I can tell you from the behind the desk side, all they want to hear is that bottom number. They just want to know what are they getting, and they don't ask no questions. And I would say like 85% of people who file an income tax return, and that's a high staggering number, they don't ask what they're being charged. They just want to know, do I owe or am I getting something?
Yep,
Yep.
yep.
So
And that's, it's a bad place because that's how they get taken advantage of. So
yes,
significantly. So we have things in place so that when people get their taxes done, they know exactly what they're paying to have those taxes done. Right? So
Yes.
and we had one guy, I don't know if I told you, Charles, another company down the street, and he would literally do their taxes and then amend their taxes in August to make it appear as if they were getting another refund in August. So they would come in my office like, yeah, we want to make sure we get the August refund. What are you talking about?
oh
There's no
wow.
such thing as an August refund. Oh, well, Mr. So-and-so gets us what, audited? Gets you a sentence and a striped suit? Like what is he really getting you here? So that's what we do. We educate, we enlighten, we serve. And you know, there are people who come in here and they leave because my office is purposely right in the middle of the hood because I can have
I
more of
love
an
it.
impact here.
Love it.
It's like I can
Educate
impact
the
people.
people.
Yeah, these are
Educate
my
the
folks.
people. I'm a firm believer that if you build that business the right way, starting from ground zero,
Mhm,
you won't never have to go back and correct it years later.
exactly.
But if you started off doing some erroneous stuff, you know, when you finally get to that point where you're like, I'm trying to do it the right way, then those customers leave you because you've been getting them these huge refunds. And now when you're telling them, you know, all those years you really were supposed to get 2, I know you've been getting 5 and 6. They don't want to stick around.
No.
But if you show people the right way, they'll stick with you.
They do. And when you show, and that even when they get in trouble, you're still here for them. So we figure all that into our fees. So if someone gets audited or gets a correspondence audit or whatever, we tell them, if you hear from the IRS, get that letter to us as soon as possible so we can help you respond, period. And that doesn't mean that certain people don't think it's our fault anyway, but the reality is you are responsible for your own tax situation. So.
Exactly.
All right, cool. All right, so that is what are you making, Charles? Somebody's asking, what are you preparing in your kitchen? What's for dinner?
This is just a salad. I got the tomatoes, strawberries, blackberries, spinach, the romaine lettuce. I'm gonna add some nuts to it.
Yeah.
Probably throw a can of tuna on top of it.
Wow. How everybody's like, now everybody's hungry, like, okay, we gotta go eat.
Hey, we all take a trip. We all come out to Dallas, Texas, man. I'll make sure I throw the grill for you, boil some crawfish and crabs. You know,
Sir, hold on. Don't get me started because I'm coming to Texas soon and I love to eat. Don't put an
Hey,
invitation out there.
get my number. Get my number from Katrina, and I promise you, you'll call her and say, "Hey, that guy there knows how to show some real Southern hospitality."
I'll go with you, Dr. Ferguson. I'll go with you. We'll go eat.
Absolutely. All right, guys, well,
yeah.
I'm gonna wrap up. I see that Wendy made her appointment. I haven't seen any others come through. You want to make sure that you get that done because it's getting busy. We're coming down to the wire. Matter of fact, we actually have a class, an academy class starting at 8 o'clock that I'm late for. And I'm about to give you the website. So if you want to join, I'm going to let you do that just for tonight, even though we haven't met yet. If you want to, we've already been on for an hour. You don't have to, it'll be recorded. It's EasyTaxAcademyZoom.com. So this was like Easy Tax Zoom. It's EasyTaxAcademyZoom.com. And I'm going to be hanging up here and going right over there. And Mr. Mall, I will call you tomorrow. I have been talking since